Hey everybody, I'm Ronni.
Hi, and I'm Jennie, and we are
The Heart and Soul Sisters.
Yeah.
The only way we can get it right is if we're sitting right next to each other. So, how are you? We are super pumped to be back podcasting again. Lots been going on, right? Since I think it was September, we put the last one out, right? Last episode. So, so we're just going to talk today about what's been happening with us and what's been happening with us, Jen.
Golly. So, working on the book.
Yes.
And that's why we came together, so that we could get our rough draft together, clean it up, and get it prepared to send off to our proofreaders and test audience.
Yes. Right.
A select few.
Right.
And so, yeah, it just feels really good to have that rough draft done.
Almost.
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 By the time this comes out, it will be done.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, just feeling really good about that. We've been, I think, exploring more layers of or avenues to healing over the last 3-4 months.
Yes.
And that's been
awesome. Because doing this writing has brought stuff up.
Oh, yeah. It's an understatement. Think, right. It's an understatement. But it's really neat because, I mean, we often talk about this, peeling back another layer of the onion. And certainly writing about this brought up this like, dang, I thought I'd already addressed that pain. And you found something on Kripalu, one of their weekend yoga healing online virtual with I forgot Swami. Do you remember?
We should have looked that up before we got on. That's bad. That's very bad of us.
Should we start over?
No, that's okay. We'll keep going. It's fine.
We need to give him credit, man.
Well,
I feel
you're
bad
right.
now.
Well, we can put it in the description. We'll put it in the description.
We'll put his name in the description.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but he's wonderful.
Yeah, he was great, and it was healing your ancestral lineage is what grabbed me in the title of the
because we're all about that.
That's what it feels like. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like, and so that we don't have any control over what other people choose in our family, whether they decide to pursue healing, and to the best of our knowledge, they haven't, or at least not in a way that would allow for reconciliation and that sort of thing. So, but we, one of the really great things that came out of that experience, and it was just a couple of weeks ago for us, was a greater sense of compassion for what our parents, our grandparents, and our untold ancestors that we have no idea who they are, experienced, and so we've always been conscious, I think, of the fact that they had their own traumas.
Absolutely.
And
we've even referred to them as wounded children.
Yes.
That just
our parents in particular
that had arrested development. Basically, they just couldn't get past it.
Right.
And we recognize that intellectually.
Right. Right. But
it's one thing to, I think, understand it scientifically or intellectually, and another thing to really feel that healing in the heart.
Yeah.
So
to me, that was the big takeaway. I thought this is great because we had kind of put together the structure of the chapters, and we were kind of going through and fixing them. And I thought, that's what we really want to make sure to bring out, is that this isn't a revenge
not at all
effort. This isn't,
not at all.
Vomiting our pain out into the world. Mm-mm. This is about sharing our own healing and hoping that people will see something of their story in ours. We've said that ad nauseum. I'm sure people are tired of hearing that. But that's how we got on our journey.
Absolutely.
Was hearing people talk about their experiences and going, oh, that sounds like us. That sounds like our family. That sounds like my mom. That sounds like my dad. And so to, as we share the story, to do it with compassion, and not that we would, our parents and our grandparents obviously shared things about their lives with us that help us understand their pain and the traumas they may have experienced. We're not doing that, but we want to make sure that we do recognize that maybe they didn't have more to give, at least at certain points.
Absolutely.
And that we're not shaming them.
No.
We're naming what's happening or what happened, and talking about how we got over it, how we moved beyond it.
And it's like my dear friend Mary Catherine talks about, how we are cake, right? I know I've said this before in a past podcast. It's, you're not glue, you're cake. It's the seasonings, it's the experiences and the love and the interaction that we've had with multiple people along the way, right? Mm-hmm. The people that were in the right place, we call them our angels, whatever, earthly angels, whatever you want to call them, mm-hmm. that are in the right place at the right time to teach you, help you learn a new lesson, right? Or expand in your understanding. And so it was important to me in telling our story to recognize some of those extended family members, to recognize some of those key friendships that came into my life at the right time, the right moment, that really helped me to come out of my cave or out of my shell. Cancer is my astrological sign, and that's interesting because I really do. If left to my own devices, I would be a hermit, but
a hermit crab.
A hermit crab. There you go. And so it was really important to me in writing this story to really talk about these relationships, because they were gifts. These people are total gifts, whether they stay in your life forever or not, right? We are blessed by people that, for whatever reason, may not want to stay connected with us or be our best friend from high school through the rest of our life or whatever. And mm-hmm. but that doesn't negate how incredibly important of a role they played in our lives, and what a gift and a blessing they were at that time. And so it was important to me in telling this story to share some of that, because these are all the people. Right. Our choir director and
teachers.
His kids, teachers,
right.
That they just played such important parts in our healing and in our coming out and developing who we are, or calling us forward to be who we really are. And what a gift, to have that. So that's been, I think, an important part of talking about our healing has been, this is our roadmap, and it's going to be different for every individual. Right. But we've just been so incredibly gifted with each other, to have each other to help along the way. Yeah. And I get so emotional as we're going through our review of, I start crying. Yes. Ronnie said last night, Jennie, I don't know how we're going to get through this if you don't stop crying. But they're tears of joy, truly. So much of it is just like, wow, this was such an amazing gift, an amazing moment, that I'm just so incredibly, I have so much gratitude for.
Yeah, it's those people along the way, even if we're not healing necessarily, they help us build resilience to get through it until we can get on the other side. Because when you're a kid and the source of your trauma is your parents, you don't have a way out, right? You are trapped. Yeah. You are trapped. And so it might not even be a sense of healing. It's just a sense of that lifeline, right? That hope. So right. That things are going to be better, or somebody else can see you differently, right? You're not defined totally by the way your parents see you or your siblings see you. There's something else out there. So it's hope to keep you going to get to that point of recovery and healing. That's the conundrum for kids, right? Is that they just, for people who are in abusive relationships, you can make the choice to leave. Kids don't get to make that choice, right? So there's been some reliving of things. There's been.
Do we tell this story? Do we not tell this story?
Right. Right.
I don't want to traumatize anybody, and we don't want to re-victimize ourselves. We don't. That's not. We're survivors. We're thrivers. That's how I choose to look at us. And
right, you use the term survivor. I think I think of myself as beyond survivor. I'm not sure what thriver. I guess is
thriver. I like
thriver
that.
is a good one. I'm living like a regular person.
There was a phase though when we were first pulling out where we were. I know I was. I just said, I just want to be normal.
Yes.
I just want to feel normal.
I want to know what normal is.
What is normal?
Yeah.
You know, I want to be normal. Well, now I'm way past normal. I want to be who Jennie is supposed to be.
Right.
You know, I want to just be me and live out loud without apologies.
Right.
I mean, that's my mantra now. It says, I just want to be me.
Right.
And you just be you. And that's great. And that's wonderful. And we can be totally different. And that's great. You know, I don't want to be like anybody else. I don't want to conform. I mean,
you obviously drive on the right side of the road.
I follow the laws and I'm wearing, but you know what I mean. I just want to figure out, okay, what makes my heart sing? What makes me just feel like, yes, I want to be here. I want to do this. This is fun for me, you know? Yeah. And that's the phase that I feel like we're in.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
It's like, wow, this is so much more fun than 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I mean, it took a while.
But yeah, there really isn't any other alternative. Like you do have to slog through it.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be something that, you know, I want to, as we're putting the finishing touches on the book, I'd want to say, you know, it might really suck for a while. Because I just flashed to, you know, in the beginning you say, well, awareness is the first step in solving the problem, right? And you used to go, I am aware. I'm aware. You put your finger on it. I'm aware. And then it's like, at one point we're like, I don't want this much awareness.
I don't want to be aware anymore.
No, please don't tell me. Oh dear God, there's something else wrong with me. What am I going to do?
You know, well, we laughed about that in our soul level intuitive coaching.
Yes.
It's like, crap. Do I really have another workaround that I wasn't aware of? It's like, dang, I don't really want to be. I don't want to be so aware.
Yes.
But you know, it's all part of loving acceptance.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
This is how I figured out how to cope.
Yeah.
And to not feel pain. And so, you know, if I have scissors in every drawer in every room of my house so that I feel prepared and safe and protected, okay.
There's something wrong with that.
It's okay.
I'm supporting the scissor economy.
I don't like jagged edges. I like everything to be nice and smooth. You know.
I know.
That's okay.
I know.
It's a coping mechanism that works for me.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it is about, I think the other thing that, you know, as far as like a global message would be that it's, you don't have to make yourself wrong, right? Just, if you're in pain or if you don't know what to do or you find yourself doing something you swore you wouldn't do again because it's part of your conditioning and, like, you know, getting into a relationship that doesn't serve you or whatever. Some people say, oh, I keep making the same bad choices.
Project relationships.
Yeah, right.
Anyone?
Yes.
Check, please. Yeah.
So I mean, just, oh God, here I did it again or whatever. No, it is part of the learning, right? It's part of continuing to grow.
Yeah.
And so eventually, you know, there's a great metaphor in the recovery, like the 12-step recovery.
We're sharing the same brain.
Community.
I know
Yes,
where
you know where I'm going. So this is a metaphor of you go down this road and there's a giant pit and you fall into the pit. You thinking about that?
I was just going to say that.
So you're aware the pit's there and you keep going down the road and you keep walking and you fall into the pit. And eventually you go, you know, I'd really like to not walk right into that pit. So you go into the edge of the pit and then maybe you teeter and fall in once in a while. And then eventually you get to the point where you're going down the road and you say, you know, I am not going into that pit. And you start walking around it. So every time you go down the road, you walk around the big pit. And eventually you get to the point where you go, I'm not going down that road.
I don't have to go down that road.
Yeah, there's no reason for me to go down the road with the big pit.
I can go down
stay way away from the road with the big pit.
Exactly.
And it really is true, right? I mean, in the beginning, we were sort of aware that we were doing things that weren't helping us or we weren't maybe coping as well or whatever. And you almost can't help yourself. You just keep doing them. And then they don't, then somewhere along the road, you go, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
How did I stop doing that?
Yeah.
And it was another metaphor I really like is the idea that, Michelangelo working on a sculpture, he's chiseling away at the marble, and it takes maybe 100 hammers on the marble of the hammer on the 100 blows of the hammer on the chisel. Let me get it out right. And then finally that piece of marble breaks, And so the question is, was it the 100th blow that released the marble? Was it the first blow and the rest were just sort of completely dislodging it, right? Or it's the idea that it's just relentless, right? You're trying to do something new. You're trying to make a different choice. And it might feel terrible in the beginning. And over time, you get to the point where the piece of marble releases. And then all of a sudden, you're not walking down the road with the pit anymore.
Yeah.
Don't you love the mixed metaphor thing?
Yeah, I did? Yeah. I kind of like that.
So it's been a great opportunity to reflect on the arc of our recovery process. And just because we're writing a book now doesn't mean that we're done.
Oh, heck no.
But it means that we feel like we've come far enough that we can help people who are not quite as high up on the ladder as we are at this point in terms of their experience or understanding or awareness or
we're already talking about the outline for book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and this is the way it always is, right? Anybody who's had some experience with something has meaningful advice to give to people who have not had that experience. So it's not about
not just sharing our experience.
Yeah.
Just learning, just seeing how other people have, what roadmap did they follow?
Yeah.
How did they evolve? How did they find
because that's how
a greater
we got
sense
started.
of peace, a greater sense of healing. And it's been gee, that sounds good. That calls to me, and just following our intuition, what speaks to me. And everybody's going to be different, and that's great. And that's wonderful. And so all we wanted was to feel better in our own skin.
Yeah.
Be more loving parents and partners and friends and coworkers. I wanted, my greatest desire is to just be an instrument of love. Just be an instrument of love and peace. Am I perfect at it? Oh, heck no.
But we've presented some evidence of that on the podcast already for both of us.
Yeah. So, but that's what each step forward has hopefully been. Each new, like our yoga weekend, it's like, wow, that felt really amazing with the Swami and how much of a release we both felt.
Yeah.
And we just did that recent energy share on Be Open.
Oh yeah.
Which was just
that was really cool.
Amazing.
That was really cool.
It was a combination of Qigong and Reiki.
Reiki, yeah.
And that was powerful. And so so it's just should we give a shout out to our friends?
Yeah, Karen Dundee-Smith and Anna Marie Ellison.
Yeah, marvelous.
Yeah, they're both wonderful intuitives and energy workers.
Just wonderful, wonderful people. So, and we adore them. And so many of our friends through Danielle McKinnon's site. And
we'll have to talk about her.
Slick and Slack.
Soon.
That's next, yeah.
Yeah.
So just learning from each other, from our friends and peers, and sharing. And what a gift that is.
Right.
And just being open to new thoughts and new ways of navigating, being more in touch with our hearts and releasing old energy blockages, in our bodies and in our energy field. It's just been a wonderful journey. Yeah,
that's been to me the real gift of writing this book, not just the fact that we get together so we can work on it, but that it's in looking at the whole arc of where we started, what we experienced, right? Going back to the earliest thing we can remember, and just the whole arc of the journey. And it sounds trite, but how far we've come.
Yeah.
And I can remember just after the first year, after we made the break with Mom and Dad, and we were trying to figure out how to, what happened to us and how to heal from it. And we went to see your therapist and kind of as a check-in. And I remember saying to her, if I never get any better than I am right now, after 1 year, I will live just a much happier, more peaceful life.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that in writing, And I laugh at it now because I'm light years from the person I was 1 year after we started this whole thing. It's just really, I'm just so grateful. I had no idea where it would take me, where it would take us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really, it truly has been a journey back to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not a, I mean, it's felt like the 7-story mountain that Thomas Merton, I mean, it has been really challenging at times. But it really truly has been a journey back to our own hearts, healing our own hearts, releasing these blocked energies or wounds from the past and letting more light in. I mean, that's what it feels like.
I've started to think of it as letting more light out.
Oh.
Because the light was always there, right?
Yeah, right.
But there were lots of things that put, the whole, this little light of mine, hide it under a bushel. No, right? There were lots of bushels and barrels and lots of crap on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's about letting more of the light out. It's there. It was always there.
Channeling more.
Yeah. Yep. That seems like a good place to stop.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we're super excited to be with you all again, all 7 of our listeners, as Click and Clack used to say.
We do appreciate you.
Yeah, we do appreciate you. As always, the information is here to, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we have our YouTube channel where if you're consuming the video version of this, that's probably where you are. Always please leave us a comment or questions. We'd be happy to address them in the future.
We absolutely love your comments. Thank you so much. We've had some lovely emails that people have sent, and we just so cherish your thoughts, your feelings, and even your experiences. If there's something you want to share, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. In the meantime, wishing you so much love, so much light,
and so many, many blessings.
Be well.
Bye. What was that? Blip me out.
I don't know. There's a scratch
There's a line.
there.
What the heck?
I don't know.